Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest transfer episode with Football Gupshup that we have for you today. And thank you very much for joining. Please, if you can subscribe to the channel, press that like button as well. Now, I would be wanting to start straight away with lots of transfer news that we have. And apparently, there's lots have been ongoing in the transfer news on the transfer scene. Now, you could say that we're almost entering into a new season where we will get more of these breaking news, where we'll be getting about these players who want to join at the last minute. And what's happening is that most of the clubs will enter into the new season. There'll be injuries, there'll be some sort of movements happening, and some of the transfer moves will be happening from out of nowhere. So what I'll be doing is we'll be focusing on some of the transfer reports that we have so far, and I want to start straight away with Chelsea. We do know that Chelsea are currently right now very much focused on getting as much as they can, because due to some of the failures recently that they had, they seem to be interested in lots of players, but for some reason they have lost so many of their targets, such as you could put a name on it, Jules Koundé. You do know about that they were interested in the likes of Rafinha. Barcelona stolen on him as well. And then Chelsea were also looking at many options, such as in terms of recruiting, in terms of defense, but so far they haven't been successful. They've got Koulibaly, but it's not enough. They're looking at so many names right now. They're looking even at Skriniar. At one moment, it was thought that PSG were the only ones, but it seems that Chelsea are also interested in Skriniar, and right now they are also looking at Guardiola. You do know that Timo Werner is still playing for Chelsea, and he hasn't made up. He hasn't lived up to the transfer as he was bought like 2 years ago. It seems that he's on the move, and RB Leipzig are interested in to take him. And it seems that Chelsea are speaking to Leipzig about that swap deal in which they could get Guardiola in return, and Timo Werner could head to the other way. Timo Werner will have to accept some sort of cuts on his wages. He will have to accept that lower wage offer from RB Leipzig, and he's willing to do that. He wants to play regularly. Remember, this is a World Cup year. Every player would want to be starting at this moment, and they wouldn't want to take the risk to sit on the bench. They would want to get selected for the national team, because this November and December is going to be the World Cup year, and it's very important for every player. The World Cup comes after every 4 years. They don't want to miss out on such a huge prestige tournament. For that reason, the players will certainly look for a move, even though that club wouldn't make sense for their profile. The looks of Bergwijn moving to Ajax was a similar case. Remember, he had his place in Tottenham. Antonio Conte really wanted him to stay, but he knew that if he didn't play regularly, Louis van Gaal wouldn't have chosen him for that flight to World Cup in Qatar, and that is the reason he moved to Ajax. Now, this means that most of the players will be looking for those kind of moves, and in this transfer session, we have lots of stories which will indicate that so many players are finding that, and so many players are looking for that kind of move. Now, talking about Timo Werner, if he moves to RB Leipzig, that means Chelsea will be looking for a striker. It has been reported that Chelsea are interested in many strikers at this moment. They're just not revealing the name. It might be a surprise that Calvert-Lewin might come up. We do know that Ivan Toney is also one of the names. So we might see some surprise out there by Chelsea. Remember, they were linked to Cristiano Ronaldo, but Thomas Tuchel vetoed that. He didn't want Cristiano Ronaldo anywhere around in his squad, and it might be that there might be a surprise for Chelsea if Timo Werner leaves, and as well as they are also very much specifically interested in Wesley Fofana. We do know that they really want Wesley Fofana. Leicester City have put a £80 million tag on Wesley Fofana. They think that his value is of as such. They do not think that Wesley Fofana should go lesser than £70 million, and they remember sold Harry Maguire to Manchester United for £80 million. For that reason, they think Wesley Fofana will fetch them that kind of fee. So let's see what happens on that front regarding Wesley Fofana, and as well as Guardiola. These are the two key names. We do know that they're looking at Skriniar. So let's see what Chelsea do in the transfer market. So far, they've got Koulibaly, and as in regards to Azpilicueta and Alonso, we do know that there's a huge beef between Barcelona and Chelsea because of those transfer moves done by Barcelona. Chelsea do not have a good relationship currently right now with Barcelona. That is the reason there is still talks going on between Barcelona and Chelsea regarding those two players. But there's another catch. It has come out recently that apparently Chelsea are interested in Frankie de Jong, which will come to Manchester United a little bit later. It has been reported that Chelsea are looking at Frankie de Jong, but again, the key over here is the relationship between the two clubs. It's not good. It's not good at all, due to the fact that Barcelona have almost taken every single player that Chelsea have targeted. So for that reason, Chelsea are having not a good relation right now with Barcelona. Now going next, we're going to be talking about Newcastle United. We do know that Newcastle United are currently interested in the transfer market. Now I'm going to be talking about some of the names regarding that they're interested in. One of them is Jack Harrison from Leeds United. Apparently Leeds United are holding out for a fee of £40 million, but Newcastle United do not want to offer more than £35 million. In that regard, we do know that Newcastle United have this issue with regards to purchasing players. Whichever player they go for, the valuation suddenly somehow moves upwards, and it's not working in their favor. Eddie Howe has been very much frustrated by this, but it seems that he's pretty much accepted the fact that they will have to pay over the premium because of the reason that they have the new money, and they do understand the clubs will ask for that little bit more, and he has accepted that fact. I think the board has accepted the fact as well. So we will see Newcastle United making those moves, and we will be surprised by some of the names which will be linked to. Remember, they were linked to Paqueta, but for some reason it didn't go through. But right now, the hottest name which has been linked alongside Jack Harrison has been James Maddison. Now, we do know that Newcastle United made a bid of 35 to 40 million pounds for Leicester City, James Maddison. It seems that was rejected. Leicester City are holding out for a little bit more. They want at least 60-65 million for James Maddison. Newcastle United have offered a new bid of 50 million pounds plus some add-ons. Now we will have to see if Leicester City would want to buy that one. Remember that they have another player who is having a less you could say a lesser year on a contract, which is Telemans, and Telemans is being washed by Arsenal. Telemans is also being looked by other clubs as well. So imagine if Leicester City lose Telemans as well as James Maddison. That's going to be a big punch, and Leicester City will have to go back into the transfer market and look for some replacements. They do have the likes of NDD, they do have the likes of Somare, but we do know that without James Maddison as well as Telemans is going to affect them a lot. We do know that Leicester City have been very quiet so far in the transfer market. This has never happened before, but it seems that they're trying to raise some cash by selling some of the players, by selling some of their assets, and it seems that Telemans as well as James Maddison will be one of those two who will make their way. But there is another name which has been strongly linked, which is almost going to make a move. It's Kasper Schmeichel. We're going to talk about Nice now. Nice is a football club in Ligue 1. Nice is making quite a splash in the news in terms of transfer market. They are trying to get Kasper Schmeichel on a 3-year contract from Leicester City. The money which they've offered is £1 million, and if they're able to get Kasper Schmeichel, they will get a very good goalkeeper, and we will see Kasper Schmeichel time coming to an end. He won the Premier League title with Leicester City, and hopefully he'll be moving to France just before the World Cup. Again, guys, you see these kind of moves, these will happen because due to the fact that the players, if they feel some kind of threat that they are not going to be selected as regular as they are in the present clubs, they will seek a move in which they will get the regular playing time. And in that case, Nice are also targeting another player, and it's quite surprisingly is Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey, who's going to be playing the World Cup for Wales in Qatar, is pretty much eager to join Nice. He wants a regular football playing time, and it seems that Nice are going to offer him. He was being offered a lot of, you could say, game time from other clubs as well, but it seems that he has thought to play in Europe as well as Ligue 1, and he thinks that Nice is a place where he needs to play at. Nice have offered him a very good contract, and it seems that he'll be making his way over there. Now, in regards to Leicester City, that's the news we have. Now, what we'll be doing is we'll be moving over to Everton. We do know that Everton and Frank Lampard are very much eager to improve to what they had last season. Now, Frank Lampard, he did want Zinchenko, but Zinchenko opted to move to North London, Arsenal, and he's going to be playing for Mikel Arteta. We do know that Lampard had other plans as well in terms of getting good names for his team. Now, so far what we've heard is that Frank Lampard is currently working on two of the names. One is Guai, who is an ex-Everton player. He's playing for currently right now PSG, and is going to be a loan move. So we might see Guai moving back to Everton. Not only that, there's another surprising name which has come up is Batshuayi. Now Batshuayi is pretty much eager to leave for a new club, and he thinks that Everton is the place where he needs to be. Now if Frank Lampard is able to pull that one, that's going to be a very good deal, because Frank Lampard certainly needs somebody in that striking department who could give in some goals and to give that kind of threat, and Batshuayi would want to be that person. Remember, it's a World Cup year. He would want to get onto that plane and play for Roberto Martinez Red Devil side in the World Cup. Now we do know that Everton are also looking at Cornet, but we do think that Newcastle United are also looking at Cornet as well. Let's see what happens on the side of Saint Maximin. If Newcastle United do sell Saint Maximin for a good chunk of money, then we might see Cornet maybe moving to Newcastle United. But let's see, there's still some room, because we do know that Aston Villa are also interested. There's so many clubs interested in Cornet right now, so you never know what's going to happen with him. As in regards to speaking about Everton, they are currently right now hoping to get as many players they can. We do know that they're interested in Gallagher, but it seems that Gallagher will be staying at Chelsea, as well as they're interested in Billy Gilmour. Billy Gilmour, so far, we'll see what happens, what his future is with Thomas Tuchel. It depends on Kante. Will he leave? Will he stay? Same as for Jorginho. So again, we will have to wait out and see what happens with Billy Gilmour. Maybe in the end of the transfer market, we might see Everton making a loan move or something like that. And we do know that Frank Lampard really rates Billy Gilmour, so let's see what happens on that front. Now we're going to be also talking about a little bit about Chelsea. We do know that Brighton have a player called Cucurella. City were pretty much interested in him. Remember, they sold Zinchenko and they wanted Cucurella from Brighton. The valuation that Brighton put up was about £50 million, but Manchester City think that's a little bit too much. They think that £40 million is enough. But it seems that Brighton are holding out for a little bit more. They do understand the value of the player. Now, the fact of the matter is that Chelsea do understand that they need lots of recruitment in defence, and they think that they would be willing to offer £50 million to Brighton, which will be accepted, and they will get a good quality player in Cucurella. They will get a proper left back. They will also have him as a left centre back that he can play in multiple positions. He is that good. So for that reason, we might see Chelsea moving for a very important player. And as well as we do know that in terms of another news which is regards to Manchester City, it's to do with Bernardo Silva. I'm going to talk about Barcelona right now. We do know that Barcelona have made so many moves. They've signed Jules Koundé, they've signed Rafinha, they've signed Lewandowski, and somehow they want to get them registered. Now Laporte was asked about the likes of Bernardo Silva, and he was answering about him that first what they need to do is they need to register all of those players that they've gotten. Once they have gotten those players, then they will look on to see that they can add Bernardo Silva. Now Bernardo Silva is not going to be sold on for less money by Manchester City, not surely for later in this transfer market. Remember, if Bernardo Silva gets sold to Barcelona, it's not going to be anything lesser than 60 million or 65 million euros. And remember that maybe Manchester City will look into the transfer market and see if there is any other better replacement, better than Bernardo Silva, which seems very less likely, until and unless they might get interested in Frenkie de Jong. But we do know that Manchester United are still holding out for him. There is still ongoing issue with Frenkie de Jong's wages regarding Barcelona. They still have to sort that one out. Now those deferred payments, once that is sorted, we still have to find out if Frenkie de Jong would be willing to accept the lesser contract being offered by Barcelona. Barcelona can't pay him that much which he is being promised right now, and for that reason Frenkie de Jong will have to make that decision sooner or later. He does know that Chelsea are interested in him. Might be that City might come in later if Bernardo Silva gets sold to Barcelona, and Manchester United, as usually, they are interested in him. So let's see what happens on that front with Barcelona. What we're going to be doing is we are also going to talk about another club over here which has to do over here with me, and I've just highlighted it over here, and that has to do with Tottenham. Tottenham are looking for some of the outgoings. I want to talk about Manchester United as well because we've done so many incomings. I want to talk about outgoings as well. Now Tottenham are looking for some of the players to leave the club. One of them is Joe Rodon, who has apparently left for Rennes. It's a loan move, but it can turn out to be a permanent buy for 20 million euros. So Tottenham are right now trying to raise some cash because they've spent a lot of money in the transfer market, so they're looking to recoup as much as cash they can, and then maybe later they will see if they want to add some more of the players. with Manchester United, we do know that they want to sell Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly is being targeted by Roma. Jose Mourinho wants him. Jose Mourinho also wants Wijnaldum. I think Wijnaldum is edging closer to that. But as far as Eric Bailly is also getting an interest from Sevilla. Not only Sevilla are interested in Eric Bailly, they're also interested in his teammate Alex Telles. So we might see two of the United teammates moving to Sevilla, whereas there is also interested in Laird, and Laird will be also getting his move to Watford, whereas there is also an interest in Phil Jones by DC United, by Wayne Rooney's new club, and we might see Phil Jones leaving finally Manchester United. So there will be lots of outgoings happening in this transfer window. As you all know, it's today, 1st of August, still lots of time to do, and there is lots of business to be done, and it seems that most of the clubs will be doing this later in the transfer market. Now, talking about another player which is of Arsenal, Lucas Torreira, it has been reported that Galatasaray are interested in him. They want to sign him on permanent deal. There is an offer on the table, and the offer is around 7 million euros, and there is a 4-year contract offer for him by Galatasaray. So we might see Lucas Torreira moving over there, and it will turn out to be a very good move for him because he has been on loan to Fiorentina. It hasn't worked out for him, so might be Galatasaray the club who will make him make him his own club, and he will get to play over there. Now, talking about in another news, I want to report about Charles de Ketelaere. He is edging closer to Milan. His medical will get done. The deal is going to be 36 million euros plus some add-ons. Now, we do know that he will sign for Milan. He wanted to sign for Milan. Leeds United were interested in him, but it was always AC Milan for him. And we might see Renato Sanchez coming back in the frame from AC Milan. So let's see what do Milan do going further in this transfer market. So guys, this is the news that we have so far. Hopefully there will be more news. In the last, I just want to report about Fulham. Fulham are edging closer to sign Leno from Arsenal. The deal is going to be for £8 million, and we will finally see Leno moving over to Fulham, and his time at Arsenal is coming to an end. Ramsdale has made his permanent move. You could say that he has made that position of his in Arsenal first 11, and we might see Leno playing for Fulham, and the contract is going to be for 4 years. So that's going to be the last of this news. I want to thank you very much for everybody who's tuned in, and please do subscribe to the channel. Press that like button as well. Hopefully I'll be seeing you tomorrow for further updates, and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice one. Bye bye.